Dear seeker, have you ever paused to notice how a single word can heal the heart or shatter it? How the tone of a voice can either calm storms within or ignite new fires of conflict? In this mystery lies the power of the Vishuddha Chakra, the sacred center of speech, truth, and vibration. Babaji once said, "Every word you release is not mere sound, but a current of subtle energy, carrying either light or shadow into the world." Just as the river can cleanse or flood, so too can speech purify or wound. The question is, do we speak from the restless call of the ego, or from the timeless whisper of the soul? Consider this, dear seeker, the universe itself was woven from sound, the eternal aum. If creation began with vibration, then every word we speak participates in that same cosmic dance. Yet when speech is ruled by pride, fear, or deceit, its vibration falls heavy and binds us to sorrow. But when it is born of clarity, compassion, and silence within, words become like mantras, healing, luminous, and liberating. Babaji always guides, do not rush to speak, let each word be tested in the fire of truth. If it cannot pass through silence, let it remain unspoken. The Vishuddha Chakra is the divine gateway where thought becomes sound, and sound becomes destiny. To master it is not to learn eloquence, but to embody purity, so that when you speak, the soul itself is speaking, not the restless echoes of the ego. Dear seeker, the path before you is not about speaking more, but about speaking sacredly. The question I ask you today is this: are your words carrying you closer to freedom, or further into bondage? Dear seeker, the Vishuddha Chakra, the sacred throat center, is the fifth jewel in the ladder of your inner awakening. Its very name, Vishuddha, means pure or purification. This is not merely a point in the body, it is the gateway where the hidden truths of the soul find their voice, where silence takes shape as sound, and where vibration becomes a messenger of the divine. Babaji often reminds his disciples, when the throat is pure, speech is no longer yours, it is the echo of the eternal flowing through you. Located at the throat, this chakra governs not only communication, but also the ability to listen deeply. True listening is not just hearing words, but sensing the intention behind them, perceiving the silence between them, and recognizing the subtle current of truth that flows beneath. Vishuddha is therefore both expression and receptivity, both sound and silence. Dear seeker, imagine this center as a radiant blue lotus glowing at your throat, with 16 luminous petals. When it is awakened, words emerge like clear water, refreshing, transparent, and life-giving. Speech becomes less about convincing others and more about revealing the light of truth. Babaji teaches, the tongue can be a sword or a healing balm. When sanctified, it becomes the flute of Krishna, carrying only the song of love. The Vishuddha Chakra also holds the key to higher states of consciousness. For when your expression is purified, it no longer scatters your energy, it refines it, lifting you closer to divine union. This is why the sages often sit in silence, for they know silence itself is the highest form of speech. Dear seeker, to know the Vishuddha Chakra is to realize that every word, every breath, is a chance to align yourself with the infinite. Dear seeker, at the gate of the Vishuddha Chakra stands the great test of every aspirant, the difference between speech born of ego and speech born of the soul. Babaji often tells his disciples, the ego speaks to be noticed, but the soul speaks to uplift. These two currents may sound alike to the outer ear, yet their vibrations create entirely different worlds. Ego-driven speech is restless. It arises from the need to control, to impress, or to defend. It is sharpened by pride, colored by fear, or weakened by doubt. Such words may achieve momentary victories, but they leave behind shadows, misunderstandings, hurt, and separation. The ego uses speech as a tool of survival, a weapon of persuasion, or a mask of self-importance. Soulful speech, dear seeker, is altogether different. It flows not from thought, but from stillness. It carries no urgency to prove, no thirst to dominate. It is calm, clear, and rooted in compassion. When the soul speaks, Its words are like fragrant flowers, they need not force attention, for their sweetness draws the heart naturally. Babaji says, the ego speaks loudly and is soon forgotten, the soul whispers softly and is remembered forever. How then to know the source of your words? The answer is simple: pause before you speak. Ask within, is this truth or is this self-defense? Is this kindness or is this pride? If the heart feels heavy, it is the ego. If it feels light and expansive, it is the soul. Dear seeker, the Vishuddha Chakra awakens when you choose soulful speech over egoic expression. Each time you resist the urge to speak for vanity and instead offer words of truth with gentleness, you polish the mirror of your throat center. In this way, your voice becomes not your own, but the voice of the divine flowing through you. Dear seeker, the universe itself is woven of vibration. Long before form appeared, before earth, stars, or breath, there was sound, the primordial resonance of Aum. From that single vibration, creation unfolded. Babaji teaches, what you speak is not merely sound, it is a wave that travels through the ether, shaping destiny, stirring hearts, and even altering the rhythm of the unseen. To understand the Vishuddha Chakra is to recognize that your words carry far more weight than you imagine. Every vibration you release leaves an imprint. When thought is pure, the vibration of speech becomes a blessing. It can soothe a restless mind, heal a wounded heart, and harmonize disturbed energies. But when thought is clouded by fear, anger, or pride, words become jagged stones. They strike, they divide, and they create disharmony in subtle realms. This is why Babaji says, speech is a double-edged sword. It can liberate or bind, depending on the vibration behind it. When the Vishuddha Chakra is balanced, your vibration becomes naturally aligned with truth. The tone of your voice carries peace even before the words are understood. People feel at ease in your presence, for your very sound nourishes them. Silence itself, when arising from this center, becomes eloquent. It speaks of serenity and presence without uttering a syllable. But when the throat center is blocked, dear seeker, vibration loses harmony. Either the voice is suppressed by fear, or it rushes uncontrolled, scattering energy. In both cases, the soul's song remains unheard. To awaken Vishuddha is to remember that every syllable is sacred, every sound a ripple in the infinite ocean. Dear seeker, ask yourself, are my vibrations sowing harmony or discord? Am I releasing currents of love or waves of confusion? For to purify your vibration is to align your very being with the eternal resonance of the cosmos. Dear seeker, how do you know when your throat center, the Vishuddha Chakra, is awakened and flowing in harmony? Babaji often reminds, the fruit of inner purity is reflected in the fragrance of your words. When this sacred lotus at the throat begins to open, signs appear naturally, like gentle streams revealing the presence of an underground spring. First, there is clarity of speech. Words come effortlessly, free of hesitation or deceit. They no longer arise from the mind's confusion but flow like clear water from the heart. Listeners sense truth, not because of cleverness, but because of authenticity. Second, a deepening of listening awakens. You no longer hear only the surface of words, you hear the spaces between them, the emotions hidden beneath, and the silence from which they rise. This listening is itself a form of love, for it honors the soul of the other. Third, there arises courage to speak truth. Not harshly, not proudly, but with gentle firmness. Fear of judgment falls away, for the voice is no longer serving the ego, it is serving the divine. Fourth, a balanced Vishuddha inspires creative expression. Singing, chanting, poetry, or teaching blossom as natural extensions of inner harmony. Such expression does not seek applause, it simply shares the overflow of the spirit. Finally, dear seeker, the most subtle sign is the peace of silence. The awakened throat does not demand constant speech, it delights equally in stillness. Babaji says, when words are no longer necessary, silence itself speaks. When these qualities arise, know that your Vishuddha is opening. Your voice becomes not merely sound, but a bridge, connecting the finite with the infinite, the human with the divine. And in that bridge, you discover the sacred art of communication that heals rather than harms. Dear seeker, to awaken the Vishuddha Chakra is to cleanse the river of expression, allowing it to flow without distortion. Babaji often guides, do not seek to polish the words, polish the heart from which words arise. Practices for the throat center are therefore not about forcing eloquence, but about purifying vibration. One of the simplest and most powerful practices is the chanting of Aum. Sit quietly, breathe deeply, and let the sound vibrate gently at your throat. Do not rush, let the syllable roll like a wave. Each repetition washes away heaviness, leaving behind the purity of truth. Babaji says, when you chant Aum with awareness, the universe answers. Another path is the practice of silence. For some moments each day, refrain from speech, not as suppression, but as reverence. In silence, you learn to listen to your inner voice, and in that stillness, the throat chakra regains balance. Equally important is the discipline of truthful and compassionate speech. Even when truth is sharp, clothe it in gentleness. Even when silence is difficult, allow it to carry more power than careless talk. This is the yogic art of sacred communication. Sacred singing and mantra chanting are also gateways. The vibrations of holy sound polish the throat center, making it a vessel of divine resonance. And if you wish to deepen this, visualize a radiant blue lotus at your throat. With each breath, see it glowing brighter, each petal unfolding in harmony. Dear seeker, these practices are not rituals alone, they are doors. Step through them with sincerity, and you will discover that your voice is no longer yours, it is the voice of the soul, the whisper of eternity made audible. Dear seeker, the true test of the Vishuddha Chakra does not lie in meditation alone, but in how you carry its wisdom into the rhythm of your daily life. Babaji always reminds, spiritual practice that ends at the meditation seat is incomplete. Let the fragrance of your practice fill the world through your words and your silence. In your family life, speak gently. Let your words be like cool water to soothe rather than flames to burn. When anger rises, pause, breathe, and let silence hold your tongue until compassion awakens. This simple restraint purifies the throat more than hours of chanting. In your work, let honesty be your guiding note. Do not use speech to manipulate or flatter. Instead, let your words carry clarity and integrity. Those who hear you will trust you, not because you are clever, but because your vibration feels pure. With friends, practice the art of listening. Often the greatest gift you can give is not advice, but presence. When you listen without judgment, you remind the other of their own soul's dignity. This too is Vishuddha in action. And within yourself, dear seeker, purify the inner dialogue. Notice how often you repeat words of doubt or self-criticism. These are seeds that weaken the throat center. Replace them with affirmations of truth. I am guided by the divine. My words are blessings. My silence is strength. Babaji teaches, each word is a seed. Speak in such a way that your garden blossoms with harmony. When you live with this awareness, every conversation becomes prayer, every silence becomes meditation, and every vibration becomes a step closer to the infinite. Dear seeker, as we arrive at the close of this sacred reflection, remember, the Vishuddha Chakra is not only a center of communication, it is the bridge between your inner silence and the outer world. Babaji always says, let your words be prayer, let your silence be meditation, and let your vibration be pure. When you live with this awareness, your speech no longer belongs to you alone, it becomes the voice of the divine flowing through you. Every word you utter can be a mantra, every pause can be a meditation, and every sound you release can carry healing into the world. To awaken this truth is to understand that you are not separate from the great cosmic sound, the eternal Aum, still vibrating in every star and every soul. Dear seeker, carry this wisdom into your daily life. Speak less from the restless ego and more from the eternal soul. Let kindness be the fragrance of your words, and let silence become your highest teaching. In this way, you will not only transform your own destiny, but you will also leave behind ripples of peace wherever your voice is heard. If these words of Babaji have touched your heart, share in the comments what truth resonated with you most. Your reflection may inspire another seeker who is walking the same path. Together, let us create a circle of voices that uplift, purify, and heal. May your words heal, may your silence shine, and may your soul always guide your voice. Until we meet again, continue to chant, to listen, and to live in truth. With folded hands and reverence in the heart. Jai Gurudev.